Hello Steelers, and welcome to this introductory game of Achtung Panzer. You can see here I've printed off the affiliate copy that Warlord very kindly sent through to me. The rules here, I'm going to be using this to basically go through a quick demonstration game of the game itself, how it works, some of the basic mechanics. Now, I'm going to say here and now, I am going to get things wrong, so you know, let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will anyway, but let me know in the comments. There's be things I've missed, but this is kind of an idea just to give you a rough idea as to how the actual game runs through anyway. There's already a few battle reports out there on the internet. Martin at Seventh Son, Dom, Boost on the Table, and the guys at Ministry of Miniatures, and I think by the time this video will be out, Travis at Tabletop TP will probably also have a game at least of Achtung Panzer on their channel, so go and check those out as well, because it's all slightly different. Mine is going to be slightly different simply because I don't have any 28mm tanks yet painted. I only got them about a week or so ago, so I've just been furiously trying to paint as many as I can at the moment. However, I do have lots and lots of 15mm tanks, and I noticed on some comments on some of the other videos people were asking about how you play it in 15mm. Can it be played in 15mm? Is it a 28mm game only? Well, I'm going to try to show you that you can play it in 15mm quite happily, because you can play pretty much any game in 15mm, and as a big proponent of 15mm, why not? So basically I decided I'm going to do a smaller game. The other thing as well, I'm kind of constricted by size. So I can only really play this on a 3x4 at the moment, so it's quite a small game. So what I'm going to do, what I normally wouldn't do in 15mm as well, what I normally would do is just use exactly the same distances and things as are laid out in the rules, so using inches and things. But because I'm using a half a size table, and also kind of because I'm using 15mm, but not because I'm using 15mm, I'm going to be playing it in centimetres instead of inches, so it's going to be just slightly smaller. So you kind of get the same idea as to how it will play in 28mm on a 6x4, but obviously with a much smaller setup on over here. Also, a couple of other things as well. I'm not going to be using the assets because that is another layer of rules that just basically add a little bit more complication. This is my first ever game of it, and also, you know, the first tryout of it, so I didn't want to add too many extra rules onto there. I will be using the event cards though. They are part of the game, so I'm going to be playing with those, and it's also going to be quite a small game as well. So basically I've got one Tiger over here. These are class 4 against two T-34s. These are two class 2. So instead of using the full point system, I'm just using the very simple, quick pick up and play class system. I'll talk about that as I show you the different crews and the different tanks in here as well. Okay, so what I've got set up, I've done it off camera just because just to speed things up a little bit for this video. But basically, the Germans in their Tiger, they basically, I'm setting up with the class version as I said before. So Tiger is a class 4, whilst the Soviet T-34 is a class 2. So there's two of those for the Tiger. Then you randomise with the crew. Basically, it's very simply done. You could do this quite slowly and methodically using the normal method, but actually using this, the optional rule, the touch of class optional rule, just speeds things up. And what happened was, for the Germans, I rolled a 4 for their crew levels, and for this they basically ended up with, I gave them 2 stars for each of their crew, so the commander, the gunner, and the driver. So they're pretty simple. However, I also rolled as well for the German extra ammunition, or the improved ammunition, and they ended up with 2. Because we're playing mid-1943, so they get 2 extra ammunition, so that's going to increase their penetration value quite a lot, but they've only got 2 shots for the game. Meanwhile, over on the Soviet side, I rolled for these guys. They rolled a 6, so they ended up with 7 stars to spend on their crew, and I said I'm not using assets, so they're just spending these on their crew immediately. So they've got a commander who is a level 2, a gunner who is a level 3, and also a driver who is a level 2 over here. They managed to get 1 piece of special ammunition between the entire platoon, so I gave it to these guys because they've got a better gunner anyway. And then finally the other guys over here, These rolled a 4, which gave them 6 stars. So I did the same as with the Tiger. These guys have got 2-star commander, 2-star gunner, and a 2-star driver as well. And as I say, they only ended up with 1 ammunition piece between the 2 of them. So basically I gave that to the better one over here. Then I dealt out 4 cards, 4 events cards to each side. So the Germans ended up with improvised armour, which obviously increases their armour. Bad day, play when your opponent passes a crew test, they've got to re-roll it and the second result rolls. Reinforcements, discard this card and activate 1 asset card. However, if you have no assets to activate, discard this card. So basically the Germans are straight away down, so I'm going to take that out and just discard it because there's no point having it. And then teamwork is play when one of your tanks performs an actual action. Your tank may perform an extra tactical action during this action phase. So that's pretty useful for the Germans since they've only got 1 tank. Meanwhile, the Soviets, I pulled theirs out. They've got consolidation. It says choose any 2 pieces of cleared ambush terrain, but not terrain with a tank. They no longer count as cleared. I'm not using ambush terrain in this, so they've lost that one pretty much as a card. So I just put everything in and dealt them out. Interference. Play during the reveal initiative markers step of the first action phase. Once all initiative markers have been revealed, you may relocate your opponent's initiative markers among the enemy tanks. Now, there's only going to be 1 initiative marker for the Germans because they've only got one tank. So we may as well just get rid of that because that's going to be pretty useless. They can only ever redistribute 1 thing. So their other ones are, they've got bullseye, the round finds its mark, play when one of your tanks fires at a target. When rolling to hit, you may re-roll any of the dice, or you may re-roll the results on the hit location table. So that's pretty useful. And then weak spot, a lucky shot has been found. Play when the shot of one of your tanks hits a target. Effect, when determining whether your shot penetrates the target's armour, roll 2d6 instead of just 1 and add the total both to dice to fire to the gun's firing penetration value, and a glancing blow occurs only if both dice roll the 1. So that's pretty useful actually for taking on this Tiger, because they might need that. The other thing to mention is as well, I've set up the action phase counter here just so I can remember where I am. However, I'm not going to be playing the minutes in this. It's just going to be until either both Soviets have been destroyed or the Tiger has been destroyed. That's when we'll end the game. Or well, depends how long it's going on for. We'll see where we are when I've either had enough or all the tanks of one side have been destroyed. Right, let's have a quick look at the setup as it is at the moment. So this is the table. So we've got our Tiger over here. As I say, it's only a 3 before. A couple of hills so they can get into hold down position if they want to over there. We've got some buildings blocking line of sight, and then we've also got this wheat field over here that's got the 2 T-34s in it coming in from that end. So basically a very simple setup, as you can see, just to give you a demonstration of this game. Right, so first things first is we do the initiative check, and I've got the initiative tokens here. I've got them face down. I'm mixing them up, so what I do is I place 1 by the Tiger, and then I also place 1 by each of the T-34s. Then the T-34s get to do a radio check because they are within line of sight and the commander's next to them. What this does is basically they can then look at their initiative tokens and change them around as they want. The Tiger will always be whatever he is for the next 3 turns. So we roll our dice. The Soviets are needing a 5 or a 6 because they don't really have very good radios. If they were out of line of sight of each other, they would need a 6 for this. So let's just see what we get. We've got a 5, so they can actually change around their initiative tokens if they want. So now we reveal them. So the Tiger is coming second, whereas we've got our lead, our best T-34 is number 3, and our second best T-34 is number 1. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3 for the next 3 phases. So number 1, do I swap them around and get number 3 to go last after the Tiger has actually moved? I think I'm going to. So using that radio check, we're swapping around our initiatives. So first of all, sorry, no, I'm going to leave them as they are, should I say. So the poorer T-34 is going to go first, and then the Tiger will go second, then the better T-34 will go last. So what I need to do now is decide my actions for each of these tanks, and we'll do that over here. I'm not going to go through this for every turn, but basically the way it works is each of you decide your command, you put it face down onto your command spot on your tank card, and then you reveal them all together at the same time, so nobody can basically cheat or decide what they want to do after somebody else has moved. I'm playing solo, so obviously I'm just going to show you exactly what's happening anyway. So in the first phase here, Tiger is just moving forward. Our T-34 is going to take a right turn, the better T-34. Meanwhile, the other T-34 is just going to move straight forward. Now they can move up to 90 degrees if they do a turn, otherwise they kind of just go straight forward. You can do a pivot, or you can attempt to do a pivot. You can do it as a tactical move, or you can also do it as a potential free move as well if you want to. So I'm going to try to pivot with our poorer crew over here. The driver is a level 2, so he needs a 3+ to be able to do a free pivot before or after he moves. So let's have a look. So 1, no, he hasn't got it, so he'll have to do it as a tactical move instead. So it's kind of using up his tactical move in that case. So my two T-34s are basically split. This guy has gone off. He's also turned his turret as well. I forgot as well, as mentioned, I forgot that they've automatically started with a couple of rounds up their spouts anyway. So the better one has also already got his special ammunition in. The other two have just got their AP ammunition. That's the T-34 and the Tiger. The other T-34 came forward, slightly pivoted because he had to use it as a tactical action, but that's all he's done. Meanwhile, on the other side of the table over here, you can see the Tiger has just literally just moved forward, and that's all they've done. So we're going to move on to the second phase of the first turn. Okay, so I got to phase 3. Just to quickly show you what's happened. The tanks basically moved about. There wasn't a great deal else they could do at this point. So we got to phase 3. The poorer of the T-34s is the one that came around here. It's come up onto this this hillside here, and it's actually spotted the Tiger. So I put a spotted token down on it. That was its tactical action. It's moved his turret as well. Then the Tiger activated, and it also spotted this chap over here, so they're now spotted them. What they've also done is they're also then going to, when your tanks perform a tactical action, your tank may perform an extra tactical action during this action phase. So they're going to spend this, the teamwork card, that's the thing, they're going to flip that over, sorry, wrong one, they're going to flip it over to the aimed side. So they are now aiming at that T-34. Not firing at it yet because I think it would be a snapshot unless they're aiming, or well, they could fire once they're spotted. So that's those two done. What the Tiger is hoping for in the next turn is that they are going to get the initiative at least before this T-34, so they can fire at it. Then finally the other T-34 is just going to pop forward down here. Hasn't got any tactical actions it can really do at this point, so it's just going to come forward up to there, and then that ends turn 1. So I'll put this back to the action phase 1. We then take in our initiatives. So we're currently at a bit of a crucial point here because we've got the, as I say, we've got the T-34s are kind of one of them can't spot anything, the other one is currently being aimed at by the Tiger, and meanwhile it has spotted the Tiger itself. So I'm just going to mix up these initiative markers. First of all, the Tiger automatically just gets 1, and then we get the 2 for the T-34s, so we'll put those in. Then we do the radio check. These guys are both in line of sight, so we roll the dice for this. They need a 5 or a 6 to be able to change around their order of their initiative, but we've got to see what it is anyway. So 2, no they can't, so they're kind of stuck as where they are. So let's see, we've got, Tiger has pulled a 1. You saw me shuffle them. This guy's got a 2, and then this guy over here has got a 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Well, any guesses as to what the Tiger might do? Right, so first shot of the game. Our Tiger is firing at our T-34 over here. It is aimed, so it increases its chance of firing. Normally, you would roll 2 dice if it's only spotted. If it is aimed, you would now roll 3 dice. It is over long range, so it's over 18 centimeters or inches in the normal game here. So let me just show you that there. So yeah, we're on 55 centimeters basically. So we're over we're in long range, but it's still a 5 up to hit. But the penetration value goes down from 9 to 8. So it's still pretty heavy hitting. It needs 5 pluses. But we're rolling 3 dice, so any one of these has to score a hit for it to actually hit the T-34. So let's see if it does. 6, that's a hit, and a 2 and a 3. So yes, it has hit that T-34. We're hitting the T-34 straight on at the front. It is not hull down at the moment because it's not behind that hill. So what we do is we roll to see where the location is, and we just roll the D6 for this. So a 6 is the turret. So now we see for penetration, so we basically roll the D6, add the penetration factor. In this case it's an 8 because it's long range. The T-34 has a turret armour of 9, so we rolled a 5 plus 8 is 13, so that is actually 13 minus 9 is 4 over, so it's actually 4 times over. We compare the difference between the total penetration value and the armor's target's armor value, and the difference is 4 or greater. The tank is automatically destroyed. So we brewed up our first T-34. So good shooting there straight away from that Tiger. First kill to the Germans. Okay, just quickly, there's the state of play. It was the third activation for your man over there, so basically all they did was come forward. They just moved forward as their part of their command. The other Tiger is still over here doing very little at the moment, relishing in its victory. Right, so we then move on to the second action phase. That was the first action phase of turn 2. So our Tiger, we decide what we're going to do with our vehicles. The Tiger just decided to push on up that road. Meanwhile, this T-34 over here has kind of turned now. He's going to try to get a flank attack in on that Tiger as it comes up into the village itself. Final phase of this second turn is that basically the T-34 has now rounded that village on this side. The Tiger has obviously decided that he is going to go up onto the hill and see if he can take out and claim a second T-34. Well, let's see if he's lucky enough. We now go over onto the action phase of first action phase of the second turn. I'm going to get rid of that number 3 token there. There's no point having it because our number 2 tank has gone anyway, so I'm just going to swap these around. Let's see what we get. So neither of them are going to be doing a radio check in this, but we've got a test as well. We'll just reveal them. So Tiger is number 1. Meanwhile, the T-34 over there is number 2, so I'm going to decide on their actions. Okay, phase 1, T-34 just pulled back a little bit, back instead of going forward. I don't want to take the Tiger on front-wise. Meanwhile, the Tiger has pushed on round the buildings here, so we're going to move on to phase 2 and see what either of them do there. A Tiger has pushed on a little further forward, and he's also then used his tactical action to spot the T-34 over here. So T-34 has given himself a turn command to the right and try to get out of line of sight of that Tiger if he can. But he could also let off a snapshot at the Tiger before he disappears. I don't think it's a good idea because he'll probably just waste the ammunition, so he's going to basically go 90 degrees, up to 90 degrees to his right, and then move forward 4 inches, or 4 centimetres in this case. So he's at least out of line of sight. The Tiger has spotted him, he retains the spotted, but he can't hit him because of the line of sight. He's no longer unable to aim at him. So the Tiger basically moved forward here. This is the third action, turn 2 I think, turn 3. He's moved forward here. He's still spotted that T-34, so he can only just see him now. He could probably just take a shot at him, but he used his tactical action to basically pivot because he failed his move on it. Meanwhile, the T-34 moved forward down to here. He failed his pivot test as well, so he wasn't unable to pivot at the free pivot. So instead of pivoting as his tactical action, he's decided to spot the Tiger, so both of them can see each other. So depending on who gets the initiative for the next phase, could be a particularly interesting outcome for both of these tanks. So let's just mix these up. Right, so that one's for the Tiger, that one's for the T-34. No radio checks because there's only 1 tank each. So the Tiger gets first turn, T-34 gets second turn. So the Tiger is going to halt and fire. T-34 is also going to halt and fire as well. So Tiger gets his first shot in though. I don't think he's 18 centimetres away. He might be, you never know, never know. No, he's about 30 centimetres away, so he is still at what's called long range. So he needs 5 pluses to hit, but he has spotted this. He's spotted the T-34, so he's only rolling 2 dice this time, but he still needs 5 up to hit on either of these dice. So let's just see if this works and see if he can get a couple of kills. Yes, he's hit one. So what we do then is we roll the penetration. So the penetration at long range is 8 for the Tiger. We also, I forgot as well, he also uses up his AP, so he's now empty in the chamber. He refilled it in some of the free tactical turns he had before. So he's now rolling an 8+. First of all, we have to see where he's hit the T-34. This is a side hit because he's coming from the side. So we've hit him on the hull. Sorry, yes, on the hull, that is. So the hull armour for the side of a T-34 is 7. So the Tiger's penetration here is long range, it's an 8. So he gets +8, -7 basically. So let's see what we get. Got a 5, +8 is 13, -7 is, that's still a 6. So 6+ is a target destroyed. So Tiger has taken out both of the T-34s. Absolutely lamped them. Okay, so game over. This is how it looks at the end. 2 burning T-34 wrecks and a Tiger. Triumphant, as you can see there. The T-34s probably could have been a bit more better coordinated, probably should have gone around the outsides quicker. What I was probably trying to do really was try to get a couple of these cards in here for the T-34s if they'd have fired at that Tiger, but it's just that the Tiger ended up with the initiative over them. So I don't know if it's if it's better to wait with the initiative or to have it, because it's quite quick kill from those 88mm tank anti-tank guns at least. But I think if the T-34s had been able to get in on the side of that Tiger, I think they would have caused some damage, especially the guy with the special ammunition over here, the initial one. That was the plan I was trying to do. Very quick game actually, that one. It worked pretty well. Quite enjoyed that. I'd like to add some more of the assets, because the assets add ambush areas, which would make going into the village a little bit trickier for tanks and things. I would have put some in there. Basically it could be infantry or all sorts. You've got no idea what's in there. But I hope you've enjoyed that. A very quick one. Because I didn't want to go through every single step of every single turn, because there's quite a lot in there, and also trying to remember it as well on my part is quite difficult. But I hope you enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it. I will come back to Achtung Panzer, and I'll play some bigger games as well. I might even recruit some people like Dean, because I think this is a game that's probably quite difficult to play solo because of choosing the cards here. What I want to do as well is I want to do a proper review of this at some point, because I have got quite a few thoughts about it already. But this was just a quick, let's get it on the table and play the game and show you how it works. Very quickly kind of game that I didn't want to do overwhelm people with too many details, but just show some of the basics of how the game works, and I think hopefully I've done that. I think probably actually using centimeters in this case is probably too small. I would if I'm going to play this again, I'd still use inches just to speed things up, because it took a little while just to get everybody within spotting distance, or at least distance of one another. Well, look, I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of Achtung Panzer anyway in the comments. Well, let me know what you think of this video. What I will do is, like I say, I'll do a proper full thoughts experiment on this at some point in the future, just about what my thoughts are and things, and how it racks up against other tank games such as What a Tanker. I play that a lot, and I'm going to be playing that on this exact same board using the same forces, just to see how that turns out, and see if it's a different kind of game or not. Anyway, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button, leave a comment, do also subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next Storm Steel video.